Hey guys, it's Jeremy here at Metal Music Meltdown, back with another video. We have for today, guys, is another episode of my Rant series. This was kind of just going to be more of a fun kind of idea I came up with. I just wanted to kind of briefly talk about five of my favorite concerts that I've gone to in my concert going career. I definitely don't go to as many concerts like I used to, almost none to be honest. When I do have extra money, I'd rather just buy kind of new music and CDs. But back in the day when I was younger, I went to a lot of shows, if not weekly, monthly for sure. I was always going to concerts. I spent a lot of money and, of course, buying merch and shirts and albums back then as well. But used to go to a lot of shows. I've seen probably thousands of bands in my lifetime over the years. And I just wanted to quickly talk about five concerts that kind of stick out in my memory. There might be some shows I'm forgetting that I probably might have even enjoyed more than these. But these are kind of five that that I just really remember enjoying and they kind of stood out in my memory. So let's jump right in, guys. Number five, these aren't in any really kind of order per se, except for the number one is probably the greatest lineup I've ever seen in a concert. It's like a small festival. But number five, I went with the most recent show I've seen, which was last August 4th and here in Toronto. It was the Exciter was the headliner, Midnight was the second act, and Wraith was the opening act. I love all these bands, and this was the first time seeing all of them. That's why it really stood out in my head. And as soon as I saw this lineup announced, I had to go see it. I think it only cost, I think it was like $50 or 45, $50, something like that. But they all killed it. I love all these bands, been following them for years. Exciter killed the final show of the night. But I can't lie, guys. Midnight really stole the show for the night. I couldn't believe how good Midnight was live. It was just so the crowd went crazy. It was a small venue that only held like 500 people, and Midnight just freaking killed it. Like instantly became one of my favorite bands to see live. Only after seeing them one time, I was super impressed with how good of a show they put on. Wraith at the beginning was really good too, very similar, but just not as intense, and the crowd wasn't into it quite as much as Midnight. But all three bands really killed it. I definitely want to see all three bands again, and I'm finally happy to see Exciter after all these years, especially being a Canadian. It's a huge band for us here, and it's just a band that kind of eluded me over the years, and I just never got to see them. They didn't tour like a ton when I was going to concerts back then, and I always seemed to miss them for whatever reason. So I had to get them off my bucket list. And I got to see Midnight and Wraith at the same time. And it was just a really fun and excellent show. The next one here I got is the Canadian Carnage Tour, it was called, back in July of 2010. So that was like 15 years ago. It was Slayer and Megadeth were co-headliners on the tour. And then Testament was the opening band. And honestly, for this show, I was looking forward to Testament more than anybody. I think this is the first time I might have seen Testament live. I saw Slayer and Megadeth maybe once or twice before this. But Testament's always been my favorite band. Like most people, when they see this lineup, they'd be pumped to see Slayer headline or to see Megadeth. But honestly, I was pumped to see the opener. Testament killed it. They played all my favorite tunes. Less crowd was there at the beginning, of course. So I don't know why people show up only for the headliner or like the last two acts. Testament's a really good band. I'm surprised it wasn't more full for them as well. But I think Testament was the best of the night, to be honest. They killed it. Slayer and Megadeth were really good too, but I went to see Testament. I remember being a fond memory of, I'm pretty sure it was the first time I saw Testament live. And then I saw them a bunch of times after that. But yeah, really fun show. I went with my girlfriend at the time, and she's not really a metalhead, so she was like, "You're not leaving me around these people." I remember it's funny because she thought that people were like crazy and intense, and they're all I don't know. She just didn't want to go anywhere in that place by herself. She just thought we were all crazy. Yeah, Slayer was really good too. Megadeth put on a good show, played some of my favorite tunes from them as well. But for me, the strong point of the night was Testament for sure. The next one we got here is the Heritage Hunter Tour. This took place in 2012. Again, just saw it here locally in Toronto. This one had Opeth and Mastodon were co-headliners. for the tour, and then Ghost was the opener. And this is when Ghost was still touring for their very first debut album, and it's always been my favorite album from the band. That's back when Ghost did the kind of really ritual, mysterious kind of show where the Papa guy comes out in the big priest robe and the hat and the incense swinging, and just a very ominous big stage set as well. And that was before you even knew who Papa was. It was kind of more mysterious back then. And yeah, I've seen some live show of Ghost lately, and he cracks these like cheesy dad jokes, and I don't know, it's too much now. It's not the same as the when they first started. So I was really happy to see them on their first show. I really dug the band back then. And Opeth, of course, is my favorite band, so I had to include a concert that had Opeth on it. And this night I did see the show. Opeth was the headliner. And this is for the Heritage Tour. So this is just at the beginning when they were changing their sound to be more progressive rock. So they still played all the super heavy stuff I was into, from like Still Life and Blackwater Park and Ghost Reveries, and really killer show. And then Mastodon always brings it live. They always sound killer live, but I find Mastodon's show is kind of flat. They don't really they don't really talk to the crowd a lot. They just kind of play the music and then get off the stage. They sound incredible live. They're really tight on their instruments, but I find as a live show, they don't really put a lot of show into it. It's kind of bland, but I love the band, so I was really happy I got to see them and listening to a lot of their songs I really like. Number 2 and number 1 and 2 actually are back-to-back festival I saw in 2011 and 2012 called Heavy T.O. It only came for 2 years. I'm not sure why. I'm not sure if they didn't have enough tickets sold or lost money. They did the similar tour in Montreal every year. And I think what they did was the bands that played Saturday in Toronto would play Sunday in Montreal, and vice versa. The bands that played Saturday in Montreal would come here on Sunday, with a couple bands that changed out or the headliner was different or something. But for the most part, the lineup was almost the same. But yeah, both of these lineups are really good, especially 2011. So number 2, I have the 2012 show. And for the Saturday, August 1st, just to name the bands that were there, we had the local band Cancer Bats, really like those guys. Dance Lowery Dance, they're okay. Gojira was a huge one. I don't think I saw Gojira yet. One of my favorite bands. In Flames was there, luckily. They replaced somebody on the bill, and I'm drawing a blank who it was now. But I'm happy they did, because I fucking love In Flames, and I love they blew away the rest of the show. I think In Flames was my favorite performer of the show. Marilyn Manson was closer to the end. They were one of the closer to being the headliner that day. I listened to a couple of his songs. I wasn't that impressed. I'm not a Manson fan at all, but I just wanted to check out like half his set just to see how he was live, and it was just okay, nothing really crazy. And then one of my favorite thrash bands to see live, Overkill, played that night at our day as well. They killed it. Bobby Blitz is always killer on stage, always interactive, and they always play loud and aggressive. Love Overkill. The progressive band, Protest the Hero, is a lot of fun. They're Canadian too, I believe, and they always put on a good show. Slipknot was the headliner. I don't really give a fuck about Slipknot. Honestly, I think I left after like listening to 1 or 2 songs. I left the concert just to get out of the traffic, to beat the traffic. I didn't really care to listen to Slipknot, to be honest, so I left before they even really played. Suicidal Tendencies was there too, pretty cool crossover band. It was my first time seeing them as well. They put on a good show. The Dillinger Escape Plan was another one. Maybe that was the one. I think Dillinger was the one, maybe. No, were they there? I think they were there. I can't remember who In Flames replaced, but yeah, and then Trivium was on the bill as well the first day. So I enjoyed Trivium. I actually enjoyed that band. But I really enjoyed In Flames and Gojira and Overkill were probably the 3 standouts. Man, In Flames was awesome. That was the first time I saw In Flames, and they put on a really good show. Super happy they made the bill. I can't remember who they replaced. It might have been Dillinger, I'm thinking, but I'm not 100% sure. But they killed it. And then the day after, the second day of the festival, was more of a death metal kind of day. And they had some other prog and death metal bands. The lineup included Between the Buried and Me. They were pretty good. Cannibal Corpse, I think that was my first time seeing Cannibal. Really killer show. Deftones was on that day. I enjoyed Deftones as well. Cool band. Exhumed. Five Finger Death Punch was closer to the end. Fuck those guys, they suck. Flesh Goblin Apocalypse was decent. Goat Whore was a band I was super pumped to see. I think that's the first time I saw Goat Whore. They're really good. Job for a Cowboy, they're okay. It's not really a band I'm super into. Cataclysm, great Canadian mellow death band. Was super pumped to see them. Killswitch Engage was pretty good. I enjoy their music. Like I said, I'm not a big metalcore guy, but these guys do it right, and they're kind of one of the founders. They did a good show. Periphery were there. Origin. System of a Down, I think, was the headliner. I don't give a fuck about System of a Down. I liked a couple songs of theirs, but overall, I don't give a shit. And then the Faceless was there as well. Really good band. And then Veil of Maya, they're okay. So from the second day, the standouts for me were Cannibal, Deftones, Goat Whore for sure, Cataclysm, and Killswitch was good. And that's probably it. The Faceless was pretty good too. So pretty good show. I think I enjoyed the first day overall a little bit more in terms of the bands. I think I just liked some of the bands more. But overall, really fun festival. The weather was good. It was in August, it was a little bit hot, but I brought like a 4-liter water bottle with me to drink all day. You're allowed to bring one bottle with you that was sealed. And I bought the biggest one I could find like at the grocery store for like $1.50. I bought this 4-liter gallon jug of water. It lasted me all day pretty much. And then the last one I'm going to talk about here quickly, guys, is the 2011 Heavy Teal Festival that occurred in Downsview Park. This was a killer show. The lineup was incredible. Pretty much every band I was listening to at the time was at the show. All the big four of thrash were there except for Metallica. And then a bunch of other thrash bands. It was like, I'll go through the list. So Saturday they had Under Oath, they're just decent for me. Times of Grace was a cool band. It was a spin-off from Killswitch Engage. I really enjoyed their debut. That was a good band. Anthrax was on the Saturday. As I Lay Dying, again, not a big metalcore guy, but I really dig those guys. Children of Bodom were there that Saturday. Love Children of Bodom, especially back in this time period, one of my favorite bands. Devil Driver were there. They're decent. They're pretty good, a good show. Diamond Head was there. Really classic. Old school British, new wave of British heavy metal band. Megadeth was on the Saturday. Opeth was there on Saturday. So you had, and Motorhead, again, and fucking Motorhead, Lemmy. Oh, what a day. So you had Anthrax, Bodom, Diamond Head, like Megadeth, Motorhead, Opeth, like huge bands just all together. Tons of bands I just love, like Opeth, my favorite band right now. Fucking love Motorhead. Megadeth's good. Children of Bodom's amazing. Anthrax is a good band as well. Killer stuff. And then the Sunday, they had Volbeat. I was kind of into Volbeat back then. They had their fun sound. But they had Baptized in Blood, really cool band. Great Canadian fun band. Anvil was there, really fun, thrashy speed metal band. Dead and Divine, they were kind of a nobody band, but they were there. Death Angel, massive thrash band. Exodus was there that Sunday. Mastodon. Rob Zombie was a big act that was there near the end. Slayer was there. Testament. So like every thrash band you can think of, Testament, Slayer, Exodus, Death Angel, all played. Anvil, all played the Sunday. And then the Saturday, like I said before that, was Megadeth, Anthrax. Like every big thrash band was there except for Metallica pretty much. And then the Run Random band on Sunday that was kind of a weird band to have was Billy Talent. And they had Billy Talent go on right after Slayer. Like it was the stupidest fucking thing I ever saw in my life. Slayer came on and killed it. I think the headliner that day was Rob Zombie, if I remember correctly. But Slayer came on closer to the end. I think at the time Billy Talent was just a big band, like they were popular. But when they came on the stage, they got pelted with water bottles. They played the whole set, I'll give them that. They didn't back down and quit. But man, they weren't welcome there at all. Like nobody wanted them there. And they played right after Slayer, and it was brutal. But that lineup of that show, which just blows my mind. I remember when that got announced, and it had all these bands lined up, and I was just like overwhelmed with like excitement with all these bands that were on that list. Like Anthrax, Bodom, Megadeth, Motorhead, Opeth, Slayer, Testament, Exodus. It was just ridiculous, the bands on that festival. Okay, guys, so those are 5 concerts I really enjoyed. List down below some concert experience you remember. I'm sure there's a ton I'm forgetting. Like I've seen Metallica like 7 or 8 times. Like just some of the concerts I could have listed, but these are ones I kind of wanted to bring up and kind of share with you guys. And let me know down below some fun ones you've gone to. Thanks for watching, guys, and keep it metal.